As a matter of fact, I think the first session I did was the Hawaii EP, and we got in, I'm sure in the early evening, around 5 or 6 after the commercial end of the studio had kind of closed and moved on. We just set up and recorded, and to me, all I ever tried to do, and I think I did with them, was just try and incorporate the things that I've learned, plus try and emulate what was happening in England and New York, etc. So I was just trying to copy everybody. Like I think we did the 4 songs, and in one go we captured the 4, and then we probably worked maybe 4 or 5 days on the whole thing, and if that. The band played live, we'd fix it up, record a couple guitar tracks, and that was it. We were probably on 24 tracks, but it was all mixed by hand, and it was just, I was just flying by the seat of my pants. I mean, I was just trying to learn how to make records. The funny thing is looking back at it, and I've been doing this a very long time, it actually holds up, and I don't know why. I have no idea why. It's just, I guess it's that whole thing of just copying what you've learned in your head, what things should sound like. Because the stuff remastered, Joe got it remastered, and it's come out again, and I have them, and I just can't believe how good it sounds.
How old were you then, Bob?
I guess 20. Yeah. 20, and recording studios and records were it was like a big mystery. It was a big, it was just, all of us, we were just like, even those guys when they came in and saw, like Little Mountain was a big studio in Vancouver, and had a big room, and that's what we used. Yeah, and it was like kind of like a church or something. When the bands, basically, we got the evenings to kind of learn how to be engineers. And Ron was also into the same kind of music as I was, so when bands came around and gigs happened, we'd go to the gigs and say, hey, we want to do this. So Little Mountain was one of the studios, so we kind of split up what bands we'd work on. I got the Subhumans, the Pointed Sticks were the first thing I think I did. The Young Canadians and the Modernettes, and Ron worked on the Modernettes. He did Tim Ray, U Jerk, and he did DOA. So really, we were just part of that whole thing through the studio. Having worked on those records, it's I think the Paolas, Paul and I, and especially me with my production and everything, I think my soul comes from that scene here. It's definitely, when it came to Canada and working, traveling Canada and the States and everything, we were definitely not in with the rock bands of the era. Some of which I actually recorded as well, like Loverboy, the Headpins were around, and Bryan Adams and stuff. We were the outcasts of that too. We were definitely more aligned with DOA and the Young Canadians and everything. Because we didn't write kind of commercial rock music. It was a real exciting time, that's for sure. That's where I learned it. And once you pick up on it and you start that journey, you just grab whatever you can from each situation that you've done. So I could never have done what I did with some of the bands I work with if I didn't work with those bands, that's for sure. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I ended up working with Bruce Fairbairn is because I was the guy that worked with all the punk bands. So really, realistically, it does go back there. Because Bruce Fairbairn wanted to get away from some of the other engineers he was working with at Mushroom, etc. And he heard about, I guess, me doing the punk band. So he said, I'm going to try this guy. And I did something with him, and we were off to the races.